There are places in America where history refuses to die. Places where the walls still carry pain, fear, and death long after everyone is gone. Abandoned buildings stand silently across the country, but few are as terrifying as Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky. High on a lonely hill, the massive structure has become one of the most feared haunted locations in the United States. Thousands of people once entered its doors hoping to survive tuberculosis, a deadly disease known as the White Death. Many never walked out again. Today, people claim the spirits of those patients still wander the endless hallways. Visitors report hearing whispers in empty rooms, shadow figures moving through darkness, and screams echoing through the underground tunnels. Some believe Waverly Hills is simply an old abandoned hospital. Others believe something evil still lives inside. Long before Waverly Hills became famous for horror and paranormal stories, the land was peaceful countryside outside Louisville. In the late 1800s, the area was covered with rolling hills and farmland. A small schoolhouse once stood there, and according to local stories, a teacher loved reading books written by Sir Walter Scott. One of those books featured a place called Waverly, and the teacher named the school after it. Years later, the name evolved into Waverly Hills. Nobody at the time could have imagined that the name would one day become connected to death, fear, and ghost stories known across America. At the beginning of the 20th century, the United States faced a terrifying epidemic. Tuberculosis spread rapidly through crowded cities, attacking the lungs and slowly killing its victims. Patients coughed blood, struggled to breathe, and weakened until death finally came. Doctors had no cure. In Louisville, Kentucky, the disease became a nightmare. Poor sanitation and swampy conditions allowed tuberculosis to spread faster than ever. Thousands became infected, and hospitals quickly overflowed. Medical experts believed fresh air and isolation were the only ways to help patients survive. Officials decided to build a special hospital far away from the city, on top of a large hill where patients could remain isolated from society. In 1910, Waverly Hills Sanatorium officially opened. At first, the hospital was small, but the tuberculosis outbreak became so severe that the original structure could no longer handle the number of patients arriving every day. Families were destroyed by the disease. Children died beside their parents. Entire households disappeared. Soon, construction began on a much larger building. In 1926, the new Waverly Hills Sanatorium opened. The structure was enormous for its time, stretching 5 stories high with hundreds of rooms, long hallways, and open-air balconies. Doctors believed cold, fresh air could help cure tuberculosis, so patients were often forced to lie outside, even during freezing Kentucky winters. Snow blew through the balconies, while weak patients struggled to breathe beneath heavy blankets. Many died staring into the cold night sky. Inside Waverly Hills, life was filled with fear. Patients often arrived knowing they might never see home again. Families cried as loved ones disappeared behind the hospital doors. Once admitted, many patients spent months or even years trapped inside the building. Endless coughing echoed through the hallways day and night. Nurses rushed between rooms, while doctors experimented with painful medical procedures, hoping to stop the disease. Some treatments involved collapsing a patient's lung, because doctors believed resting the lung could help it heal. Other surgeries removed ribs entirely. Many patients died during these horrifying procedures. The building became a world filled with suffering. As the years passed, death became so common that hospital workers allegedly built a secret underground tunnel, known today as the Body Chute. Officially, the tunnel was used to transport supplies to the hospital, but according to local legends, it had another terrifying purpose. Staff supposedly used the tunnel to secretly remove dead bodies from the building, so living patients would not constantly see corpses leaving through the main entrance. Night after night, bodies wrapped in sheets were loaded onto carts and rolled through the darkness underground. The squeaking wheels echoed against concrete walls, while workers pushed the dead down the hill in silence. Visitors today describe the tunnel as one of the most terrifying places in America. Paranormal investigators claim they hear whispers, footsteps, and distant screams while walking through the darkness. Some say they feel invisible hands touching them from behind. One of the darkest legends connected to Waverly Hills centers around room 502. According to paranormal stories, a nurse working inside the room was found hanging from a light fixture during the 1930s. Some versions of the story claim she became pregnant by a doctor and took her own life after falling into despair. Others say the constant death inside the hospital drove her insane. Years later, another nurse reportedly jumped from the same room. Whether every detail is true remains uncertain, but the legend spread rapidly through American paranormal culture. Today, visitors entering room 502 often report overwhelming sadness, sudden cold spots, disembodied crying, and shadow figures standing near the windows. Some investigators refused to stay in the room for more than a few minutes. Another terrifying story connected to Waverly Hills involves the ghost of a little girl named Mary. Visitors claim the spirit of a child still roams the hallways carrying a small ball. Paranormal investigators often roll a ball down the corridor and claim it mysteriously rolls back toward them. Some believe Mary was a tuberculosis patient who died alone inside the hospital. Others think she may be connected to the children's ward that once existed there. While no official records confirm the story, countless visitors insist they have heard children laughing in empty rooms or seen tiny shadow figures moving through the darkness. The most common paranormal reports at Waverly Hills involve shadow people. Visitors frequently claim they see dark human-like figures standing at the ends of hallways before disappearing seconds later. Some report full-bodied apparitions walking through patient rooms. Others describe feeling intense panic the moment they enter certain areas of the hospital. Former workers and security guards have shared chilling stories about seeing silent figures watching them from deep inside the building. Some investigators believe decades of suffering left emotional energy trapped within the walls of Waverly Hills. As paranormal television shows became popular in America, Waverly Hills transformed into one of the country's most famous haunted locations. Ghost hunting teams traveled from across the United States, hoping to capture evidence of the supernatural. Television programs featured terrifying investigations inside the building. YouTubers, paranormal experts, and urban explorers documented strange sounds, unexplained voices, moving shadows, and sudden equipment failures. Some investigators claim they recorded voices responding directly to their questions during EVP sessions. Others captured photographs showing mysterious figures standing in empty hallways.